would ask the, executive, secretary, acting director to go ahead and give us a roll call.
Donna Frazier.
Present.
Isaiah Ross is absent. Robert Charles.
Here.
Natasha Griffin.
Present.
David Williams.
Present.
Kurt Collins.
Present.
Luther Love is absent.
Okay. All right, we would like to welcome our visitors to the, our meeting this afternoon, and, we have, Dr. Cameron, a citizen from Tallulah, very prominent and involved in the local government. Attorney Benny Walk, Mr. Jerry Hicks from the Police Bureau, and Timothy Holden from the Madison Journal. So if there are times, if any of you have anything, comments, at certain times you will be allowed to offer comments. Old business, if any public comments are allowed after each agenda item. And the old business is approval of the previous meeting minutes, July 22nd, 2025,
Before we go into
and August 8th, 2025.
Before we go into the meeting minutes, I request amendment to the agenda
Okay.
to add a resolution for contract negotiations per the attorney,
All right, and that would be item
H.
H, a resolution from the board. To allow contract negotiations. Okay. So we need to go ahead and approve that.
I'll make a motion to add item H, a resolution to add contract negotiation from the attorney.
Second.
All right, the motion is that we would have a resolution provided as item H to the agenda to allow contract negotiations per our attorneys inform information. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. No nays, ayes have it, therefore the motion is carried. Okay. The minutes, both sets of minutes was in our packet, so, have everyone had a chance to review them, or do you need a few minutes to go over them, read them again?
Been reviewed, I mean,
Say what?
I reviewed.
You,
Yeah. Make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
all right, both sets, July 22nd and August 8th.
Yes.
All right, the motion before the commission is that the minutes for July 22nd and August 8th be approved. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Hearing none.
I need a second, please.
Second.
Okay, hearing no nays, the motion carries. Both sets are approved. Okay. We are down to new business. Approval of financial reports. They are in our packet. And any questions can be directed to our acting director.
From the last board meeting, I reported that we had some discrepancies with CDs number 2. Guarantee did correct that. Now we're up to standards with that. All the numbers are in.
same as the package you sent out,
It is, I did add, if you see, Terra River Service is as a deposit that, from the other lease with the Meta Transportation there, it was, 32,000. Other than that, that's it.
Make a motion that we approve the financial report as printed with any necessary corrections.
Okay. There was a second.
Yes.
All right, the financial reports, there's a motion before the commission to approve the financial reports as presented with any necessary corrections. They do a roll call.
Donna Frazier.
Yes.
Isaiah Ross is absent. Robert Charles.
Yes.
LaTasha Griffin.
Yes.
David Williams.
Yes.
Kurt Collins.
yes.
Luther Love is absent.
Okay. The next item is item B, discuss and approve, consultant services of Waxman 3 SEDAP, State Economic Development Assistance Program.
So, after talking with the court, there are a lot of budget cuts coming down the crack, and unfortunately, we were one of them. The monies that were set aside to dredge our port, instead of the amount that we had, we are now only have about 2 days. After I received that information, I decided to do a CDAP grant to request at least $500,000 to get a number of days for our port. Today, the levels are at 16, which is good for this time of the year, but they're constantly dropping. So we will need to have the port dredged at some point. So I did the CDAP grant hurriedly. It closed Monday. So I got with the consultant and engineer, and we drew those forms up and got it sent out. We got everything done. I apologize coming to you without approval, but we needed to have it done before this board meeting.
So these two, 11,000 and 8,000 has been paid.
No, they have not. The 11,000 is what I will be paying today, not the 8,000.
Well, it says here, Waxman's 8,000 on the check, 17,223 and 11,000.
I'm sorry, that was for another project.
Oh, that was a different thing?
Yes.
Oh, just coincidence? Okay.
Mhm.
So this hasn't been paid. 11,000 been paid?
I did a check today for 11,000, but
Okay.
if you all don't approve it, I'll scrap the check.
Oh, I got you. But that's the cover. But the 8,000 you said was for something else?
The 8,000 closed out the 5-year plan. The 8-year closed out the 5-year plan that we had, that we did at the beginning of the year.
So it's back to first of all. Okay, so this is a different.
Yeah, that's a CDAP, and everything else has been going under CIP.
Gotcha.
CDAP has a cap at 500,000. And when they changed the date due to all the budget cuts and all the federal funding, I had to move swiftly on that.
And this is our match?
No,
This match
that's just consultant services. The match will be, if resolutions come after that, at 10,000.
Okay, we got that, okay. So this is just for the service?
Yes.
Yeah, I got
So how much, are you asking?
Consultant services, which is to start the application process, in which we've already did that and submitted and everything, it's 11,000. If the grant is approved, it's an additional 8,000.
Okay.
you. It's how big a grant you said?
500,000.
Second.
Alright. So the motion is, that's before the commission, is to request the approval for this CDAP grant.
Ms. Brown, did you speak up today?
Okay,
Alright.
alright.
You gonna have me straight doing those minutes. I can't hear you today.
Alright, okay, you mean, loud as I, no.
I know, you are normally loud.
Okay, so is there anything I need to repeat?
No, sir.
Alright, okay, alright, well, we are all those in favor of, supporting the CDAP, grants, say aye.
Alright.
Those opposed, nay. No nays, so we support that. The next item is item number C, approved resolution for match monies dredging project.
So the resolutions, again, is for the 10,000 for the match, and the second resolution is for me to have, to do all parts of the grant, representing the port.
So this is 2 different resolutions, or we need to do them
Yes,
together?
we do 2 different ones, because one is for, the match money, and the other one
This
is
is just for you.
authorization.
Yeah, this is authorization.
Mhm.
Wasn't there another one?
It just should be 2.
Okay, so I make a motion that we approve the resolution for the 10,000 matching funds.
A second.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Alright, there's a motion before us that we will approve the $10,000 matching fund for a resolution for the $10,000 matching funds. Been moved in second. We'll do a roll call since these are resolutions.
Donna Frazier.
Yes.
Isaiah Ross is absent. Robert Charles.
Yes.
LaTosha Griffin. David Williams.
Yes.
Kirk Collins.
Yeah.
Luca Love is absent.
So this wouldn't be, we don't get funded, this and doesn't get, we don't have to do this, right?
What you mean?
I mean, if this doesn't get, the other resolution we just passed, there's no match money if they don't pass this.
Right.
Right.
If it's not, if it's
If we
not
don't get the
passed,
grant,
then we don't
have
get
it.
the grant.
I got you, that's what I figured. Okay.
Alright, so do we need another motion?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, we need another motion for the second resolution.
So moved.
Alright, the motion before the commission is that we would, pass the resolution for the second CDAP grant. Pending,
This just allow you to have the authority to apply for it. Basically what it is.
this is just a, again, roll call.
Donna Frazier.
Yes.
Isaiah Ross is absent. Robert Charles.
Yes.
LaTosha Griffin. David Williams.
Yes.
Kirk Collins.
Yes.
Luca Love is absent.
Okay, that's taken care of. The next one is next item on the agenda is discuss and approve HDR engineer services for the SEADD rail project.
As you all know, we've been dealing with CAD for now 4 years. Now we're down to segment D, which is the Madison Parish Port. HDR does have a contract with the multimodal industry that's went out for the grant. Now HDR is requesting a contract with the Madison Parish Port during that process so that we could have their sole responsibilities with them going through the grant process with CAD. That is stating that they're requesting $237,000 for their services. It's all in that packet.
Yes.
That particular grant was funded through Port Priority, which the port got $2 million to add a rail up at the port. So with
So it'll be double rail or it'll be dismantled the other?
It'll be double rail. It'll be double rail, if you all
So
remember.
This not double southern.
No, no, this is our rail at the port. If you remember when I was talking to you all about, Cherry Ridge property, and I'm dealing with their management company, because we'll need additional acre to put that additional rail there. Basically, the rail will go alongside of the rail that's already there. The ditch is the drainage ditch is separating, Cherry Ridge's property. What we'll be doing and asking for an additional, acre right away from them is basically pushing the drainage ditch closer to their property while allowing us to have 18 feet from the current rail. We have to have 15, but due to the drainage ditch, we wanted to have just a tad bit more to make sure that it's level, and because again, we're putting it in the drainage ditch. And that asking for that additional acre will push that drainage ditch closer to Cherry Ridge's property. The monies that will cover that match project for HDR, I am going through a SIF grant. That grant is due on the 30th. So I have 2 days to continue to play with that one, which I'm almost done. I just need this paperwork and 2 other items, but, and that's for that. It's grant money that's gonna cover that HDR project.
Is that gonna be the match for the $237,000?
Okay, make a motion to approve the
Second.
HDR funding.
All right, the motion before the commission is to approve the HDR engineering service for the Sierra Rail project. Again, we'll do a roll call.
Donna Frazier.
Yes.
Isaiah Ross is absent. Robert Charles.
Yes.
Latasha Griffin.
Yes.
David Williams.
Yes.
Herb Collins.
Yes.
Luther Love is absent.
Okay, so we got that one behind us. Next is a quote from Bannister to add electrical power rails to cranes A, B, and C at the rail car company.
Last board meeting, I explained that we had Con Cranes to go out and do a survey on the cranes, in which we found that 2 of the cranes had no electrical to them. Of course, Dan argued that Bannister cut them. Bannister said there was no electrical to those cranes at the time that they went out. Nobody actually knows. So you're supposed to get electrical to the cranes. I don't know, I thought we were done with rail car code for a while, but
This
we are not.
year though has enough in there to run it?
If you see on both of them, the scope of work is just for, thank you, A and B. I feel like if we just do the scope of work for A and B, we'll eventually end up coming back and doing additional work for A, B, and C, needing that 110 power in for those areas. But what do you all suggest? We'll go with that. But I suggest getting it done, because once we do one, we're gonna end up coming back to do it again. And right now, after talking with Bannister, I asked to have an extension on the quote at this cost due to the rising cost of tariffs again. So he did send me an email and agreed to not increase that cost.
I don't have a problem with getting it done, but what's the plan of action to make sure what happened years ago don't happen again?
So that building is occupied by Real Carco. They furnish the insurance, we don't, once they got in that building.
Okay.
If someone does anything to that building, it'll be Dan. It'll be his responsibility. I did talk to, the insurance company last week, but it was dealing with the accident that happened on Port Road. Secondly, if we have any issues relating to the repairs that we did for, Real Carco, I suggest that we go back to the, insurance company and have a conversation with Dan. Because as we know, that building is not occupied 24/7 at this time. And I do know that he has
So
security
that, when,
cameras.
did Dan know when the last time this, was it, he said it had no power when he got there the first time?
Well, remember, by the time Dan moved in, there was no power anyway. So when he had the generators working, they tried to operate the cranes. There wasn't enough power for those cranes for their generator.
So the cranes are fine, we just gotta get electricity to it?
No,
So they're saying we gotta have motors and everything for the cranes?
no. There are some additional issues that Con Crane came out and did a test on. Con Crane gave me a quote of $60,000. So I said yes, no. After that, they kept reducing. So right now, the issues that Con Crane said that we had, they're actually using those cranes. So I was in there a couple of days after they gave us that quote. They're actually using those cranes from what they said. Now, Douglas gave me a call today, and he said, well, Kim, there were some safety issues that I wanted to make sure that you got a chance to take care of. And I said, I get it. And I said, Douglas, you went from 60 to 40 to 20, and now your last quote was $3,000. Well, your $3,000 just is for maintenance only. So my suggestion with those cranes is that we get the electrical to them and see from there. Because I feel like if we had went on with the 60,000, then we would still have a problem with the electrical, because how could they do anything to them if they have no electrical? And in some of the quotes that he gave me, it stated no electrical to those. So there's no way that you can do a test on something that has no electrical to it. So, you have something?
Okay, I didn't notice when I was out there, does them cranes have electrical running down beside the rail? You know, you gotta have electric, and your crane's gonna run on it, you know. Do you have it or not?
Yes.
It is there?
If you remember, we do have rail in the building,
Yeah, I know.
so it runs along perpendicular to each bay.
Yeah, 'cause see, they have to be able to roll and pick up the electricity too. So.
Yes, sir.
So it's 22,000 to do 100 amp for just bay A and B, and then 17,000 to do redo C.
And all the other little tidbits to it. One has
Still, so it's
a
still 40,000. So your recommendation is to do the first one, do this one first, or do both of them?
Do it both at the same time.
Do
that
both
way-
of these? Do
So
all?
we won't be charged with additional costs if we don't do it at the same time. Because if we do one, then they come back, we'll be charged with additional.
If you don't fix them, they're gonna just go, well, just fix it, be useless. And I know they need them, I'm sure.
Right now, they're just using C out of there.
Well, when if we approve it, when will the electric company, Bannister, come in and start working on it?
I would have to call them after we approve it to see when they will start. So, I've had this quote for about 3 weeks now,
Dan, what else issues did Dan have?
He hadn't complained about anything, but I assure you, we hadn't had much rain, so he's not complaining about the roof. And actually, when I went out, everybody was working. Nobody's sitting down on the side of something else. Everybody's actually working. Yeah. So the electrical is held with one of the guys. They're welders, so everybody's working. My only gripe with Dan is that I cannot get him to keep that grass cut over there. It looks ridiculous. But right now,
Is that in the contract?
it is done.
How much grass is it? Is it a lot of grass?
It's a lot of grass. It's mostly in the back. He has a little mound that's in the front. But he did show
Is that
me,
something we need to address maybe, or
we
get somebody to
can,
mow, just keep somebody up there? I mean, don't cost a lot to get people to mow stuff in general.
but that's on his property. That's on his property.
put it in the contract, or we gotta take care of ourselves or something, we don't want to look bad.
Yeah.
That's another issue. Well, I think we need to do this, so I'll make a motion, we fix Bay A, B, and C cranes,
Second.
based on balance of bid.
Motion before the commission is, did you get the second?
Yes, sir, I did.
Is that we would, go ahead and get the electricity straight to running the cranes A, B, and C. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. No nays. You are authorized to go ahead and move on with that.
It don't call us till next year. We're out of money.
Basically, that's about it. That is about it.
The next is maintenance on Ford Road. And this is from D&J.
Yeah. So, maintenance on Port Road, we had agreed or allowed, $18,000 for the repairs on Port Road. Went to the police jury, they agreed to split the cost with the port. That was $18,000. As we know, we had a culvert installed there that was in lengthwise. So D&J did that area, and they went alongside the road and did that width. So that made it an additional cost. If you see where it has 96%, that's where that additional cost came from. Went to the police jury last night to explain what happened and why the cost is extensively more than what we agreed on. And it was a little, quite a bit of backlash, but after informing the president that the road belongs to the parish and the road has to be maintained at all times. So the parish agreed that the port would pay the entire cost, and I would invoice them quarterly for their share. Mr. Hicks, would you like to say anything?
So now what's the entire cost of it?
$29,025.
So the port is gonna pay $29,500.
And I'm going to invoice the parish quarterly for their share.
Did you want to?
In the end, we'll pay half of it.
Yeah.
We gonna
In other words,
And it should balance out.
Yeah.
total of $14.50 each.
Mhm.
Okay.
so we'll be collecting for, a fraction of $14.50. Okay.
And in addition, Port Road still has some damage to it, and I did explain that to the police jury.
That's something they gotta get a handle on.
We are,
Now they gotta pay some money.
I did get the information from the
Oh, it's
superintendent
ridiculous.
to contact the person to where they sent the previous information. So to see if we can possibly have a conversation, they can come down and see, I did give them all the information. I don't know if the email was sent because I wasn't, they didn't allow me to take part in it. But I did provide the information. So secondly, in addition to the accident, I asked the superintendent if they had any markers or bleeding lights or something to possibly slow the traffic down in the midst of some person sitting on the other side of the levee because there's a blind spot. They did not have any of that. All they had was, I guess, the barrel with the light. And I looked into getting a blinking solar light that says slow down when these lights were blinking. You shaking your head, you don't think that'll work?
They don't look at nothing. They don't look at stop signs, they don't look at nothing. They come out on 65 at 50 miles an hour. They just, most of them,
The bad thing is when you top that levee, you don't know who's sitting right there.
That's
but
right.
I mean, most of them, I know a lot of them now, and they don't speak English, they don't know a road sign from a color.
I know.
They just know to get in that truck and go. And it's a dangerous situation. I don't know the answer. I'm sure they hurt. But I mean, I'm saying it's just to be able to tell somebody that's over there, you know, common sense would tell you going over a levee, be careful.
Right.
But they
You
don't.
and I would think that.
They don't. They do not think that way.
Well, maybe we can talk to the sheriff department, they can just go out there and have a vehicle there with the lights flashing.
They do, the problem is, we talked about that, talked about trying to get some funding for that, and, the problem is, we don't, the sheriff's department can't fund that. You can do it with a grant, or do it with federal funding, they said they could do that, but they can't come up with a price. Nobody wants to do lace or sit out there on their off days, or in the hot sun. You can't just sit in a car, you're not doing any good. You gotta get out through traffic, and, you know, $30 an hour, whatever, they're like, I'm not sitting in the sun for that. So you're trying to get somebody to do that. And then you gotta have the car, the gas, and all that to go with it. So to do that, you've got to, you know, have money, and then you gotta have somebody who wants to do it.
That's true.
You know, I don't know, if, you know, just hire somebody to, you know, sit out there. It's just, it's hard to do, which I think harvest is winding down for a lot of things. I think you got a lot less trucks there. It's just gonna be the metal trucks, but there's 300 or 400 trucks a day going out there.
Do they run 24/7?
They run, no, they cut off at 5, 6 out there, but they start back at 6:30.
No, I see them on my way to work every
They're up in the morning.
I see them late in the evenings.
But, and now we got another one out there at Mound, so they're coming that way too.
Coming out of Monroe, coming out of Vicksburg too. Yeah.
We also have, a bit of damage on, CGB, going to CGB Road. The right side, oh, those are farm trucks.
That's farm trucks.
The right side, they basically, pushed the road into the ditch, so I am getting those, markers. Because now the police jury has to go out and re-dig that ditch, fill the hole and push it back. If you all remember with the LGAP grant, I did get that grant, along with the police jury for rock, and that was $100,000. So we have the rock, and we'll be able to do that
Get back,
with that.
get back, I'll make a motion to approve the DJ construction money.
Second.
All right, you make, the motion is to
Approve D&J.
approve D&G
The
construction.
invoice.
The invoice. All right, all those in favor?
Do we need to put in there what the repay dates are for half?
No, because they had it in their records,
Okay,
so I'll be invoicing them for their records.
Okay.
Because ours will be done quarterly.
Right.
So but if you want it in the notes, I can do that.
I just had it,
I can,
just to have it.
it'll be on record that I said quarterly.
Okay.
All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, nay. No nays, ayes have it, so therefore that motion is carried. You know, what, before we move on, what are they saying, you know, our representatives, senators, you know, and, Kirk, you mentioned about the Meta project. Somebody should know something. I mean, the state didn't put any thought into construction, and I mean, they got construction going all over, like, Mr. Hicks was saying, from Monroe.
Yeah, we got hammered down, cause and you can vouch too, we're not getting any Meta taxes off this gravel, so the gravel's being bought, Meta's bringing it in. So they're purchasing it somewhere else, and they're just delivering, so we just got in and out fees, very little taxes. We don't have anything maintaining our roads.
And
All the money's going over there and not coming into here. And it's a big issue because we're looking at 2 years of this. We won't have a road you can drive a bicycle down in 2 years.
Actually, it's gonna be 3 to 5.
And, I mean, that's minimum of gravel, 2 years, yeah. So if they don't come up with 3 or 4 other projects they're talking about over there.
Well,
So I don't know how I know a log truck, if he goes down that road, he gotta put up a bond. So I don't know why they didn't have to put up a bond. You know,
I think they took everybody by surprise.
they did. When we were talking about that, you don't realize what 300 or 400 trucks a day is gonna do in a year's time.
But we need to all look into it.
We got to do something. I don't know.
We're gonna have a road rundown.
You won't have nothing.
We had my bridge closed down the other day.
You can't even get east.
Say
That's
what?
another thing. You can't even get east to west out of Tallulah if that one bridge goes down. That's a concern in itself.
Well, it went down before.
It's done went down twice, but
They worked on.
if it caves in, we're out, I guess you can throw a cover in, but emergency vehicles, any kind of fire, anything out west of town, you're not getting out there.
When the hole went in the bridge, they come down East Bear Lake and then down, it's supposed to run all the way to East Bear Lake, but they cut through Willow Valley.
They cut through
They
my
work on
turn,
them
they
roads
cut through
big
my
time.
turn road 90% of the time,
No.
which is fine as long as it's dry, but if it's wet, you can't go through there.
They're flying. I got
You know?
many phone calls saying these folks gonna kill somebody flying down these roads.
They do.
You know, you guys get out there with tractors, all you need is one of them run up on that.
That's it. But I mean, if they're out of control, and I don't really know how to get them back in control. I mean, it's just a tough deal for our parish right now. It's early on being a major problem. But I don't know I don't know where you go to fight it.
Well, I'm sure they experience
That's all right.
basically
Police jury's
the
gotta
same
be having
problem
on.
in Richland Parish.
We need to be, no, Richland Parish is getting, they're getting tax after tax. They done blacktopped every road over in Richland Parish already. Cause that money's coming in taxes. So they're getting it all,
See, they're getting it because the outfit is there.
they're there, so everything they buy is going through taxes. You know, they're getting property taxes, they're getting everything off of it. We're not getting any taxes, we're not getting any sales tax, we're not getting property, we're not getting anything
We're
off
just
of it.
getting
We're just
used.
getting the dead expense out of it. And it's gonna start, it's gonna go through our court commission, our police jury, our,
Well, it should
Everybody's
go
got-
through the city councils and
City
all
council.
government bodies in the
and it should be
parish.
going through
And we
Ms.
should
Jackson
have
and all of them.
a meeting,
We need to.
We do have to have, we need to have a multi,
come together
absolutely,
about it.
sooner than later.
It's sooner than
Sooner than later with the different things and the legislature,
that.
absolutely. So it's,
Well, that's no different than the side roads you want up there coming off 65. In the past, where your farm vehicles running that road, it wasn't a big issue. It's a whole big issue now.
absolutely.
And we're gonna get somebody killed for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad, cause those roads, they got dip out. And you can't shut it down now and fix them, or you shut down the whole, everything. Then everything's rerouted and it was really a bad thing, so. I don't know what, but it's gonna have to be addressed quick. They need to go right now to the interstate. Interstate's got 16 inches of concrete, go to the interstate, pull, you come back empty.
See, a lot of them trucks can't run that interstate though.
Oh, they can't run the highway, they don't run any of
I'm
them.
talking about they're not tagged for the
Yeah.
interstate.
No, they're not tagged, most of them aren't tagged, for I looked at them, most of them aren't tagged for Louisiana, period. That's another whole issue in itself.
Well, but it is really a very serious matter, and we, maybe a representative from the governor's office and our legislators and stuff, meet with all of the bodies, governing bodies in the parish, and they can do something to address it, I'm sure, to at least alleviate some of the pain.
Well, I tell you what I'll do, I'll give Miss Sanders and Miss Margaret and tell them that we might need to pull their officials and we'll all set a date and have a meeting. How's
So
that?
we can bring them all in and say, look,
Might not get nothing, but it don't hurt to try,
say, look, I just
We
had,
can't complain.
Well, you got three
Well,
city councils,
it's not-
you got Richmond, you got,
I'll tell her to get all the governing bodies.
I don't know,
Tell
I know
them.
Delta, and I don't know if there's one in Mountain or not, and then you
No.
got Tallulah.
See, what's
Well,
happening out,
if not, we're gonna put up speed bumps every 50 feet.
we just go in the ditch. See,
Um,
what's happening out at Farmer's Grain is,
They're coming out for
they're
labor.
coming down the airport road with 6022, then it's Duckport.
Yeah,
They get to the curb, they get up on the levee, they go down and get a load, then they come back and come down Farmer's
coming
Grain.
out Palmer Grain Road, yeah. Coming out full.
But I can tell you, Highway 80 in there, like y'all's road, our road, is sloughing off. I tell you, it's a temporary fix. It's gonna keep on sloughing. You see Highway 80 going east? Well, them loaded trucks coming out there going west gonna do the same thing. Anywhere you got a high bank, it's gonna start sliding.
I think they're coming out at Farmer's Grain and going to Delta to get on the interstate.
No, some of them
Some
come
of
down and go to
some
mountains.
come out and go to
Yeah.
mounds.
Ones I've seen that come in the mountains.
All that. Well, yeah, it's gonna do that same thing.
I wanted to say I saw today Ruston got given a multi-million-dollar plant for making data chips. So I wonder if any of the stuff is gonna come through here.
Yeah, everything to build it's gotta come off the river.
Yeah. It's
So they're gonna,
2026.
oh, it's not gonna quit. It'll likely be 10 years of this,
Mm.
which
It's a
is
big
fine.
project. Have you ever seen that layout?
Yeah, which is fine as long as they fix our road.
Yeah,
You know?
this one's gonna be big too.
But I'll get with them though and see if we can't get all the
Get
government
some,
bodies
get
together.
all us together, along with the you know, we need the legislators, people that can really make things happen.
And Meta, we'll get some of the Meta people here. Talk to
Yeah,
them.
we
Say,
need
look,
some of
say,
them. We
say-
can't do nothing without them.
Right, you know, so y'all understand is that we're not getting
Cause see,
anything
they can
out of it.
always come back on you and say, looky, we buy diesel, we pay road taxes, we're on the road, right?
But they're not
That's
buying
the bad
diesel.
thing.
I know all the diesel people here, they're not buying diesel
I don't
either.
know where you're buying it.
They're buying it over there, but in bulk, and they're buying it over there, see, they're not getting it from
Yeah,
here.
the DOT needs to get involved in it, right?
Well, you can, as long as you're in the state of Louisiana, you can buy it, you just have to buy it in Madison. You just
I know,
gotta
but
buy it
I'm
in the
just
state,
saying,
but
they don't
yeah,
have us, but.
they need to, but they,
But they'll throw that back on you though,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know. We can run the road as well as you can run the road.
Mhm.
So, we've done maintenance, we're down to, presentation from Attorney Benny Walker. And some of us are familiar with Benny. Benny is local.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we got the sheriff, I can hear him at church. So I don't know if what I'm about to say is probably gonna make what y'all were just talking about more difficult or easier. But as I said, my name is Benny Walls. I grew up here, born, raised, the whole nine. Spent a good amount of the year here coming to see my parents and just spend the holidays here. So when I meet people and they ask me where I'm from, it doesn't matter where I live, I always say I'm from Tallulah. So that's the starting point of, you know, why am I here? Particularly, you know, as it relates to why am I asking for authority to work with the port to go out and look for prospective tenants? In a lot of ways, it's because of the conversation that just got started, right? What you're seeing now is only the beginning. You know, the Meta project is the big story because even globally, you know, that's considered to be the largest project around the world. But at this moment, even, that's not the only big project on I-20. You know, there's a Amazon project where they're expanding their footprint in Jackson. They do a lot of logistics now, but they're doing a data center out there. Compass, which doesn't have as much, I guess, name recognition as say Meta and Amazon. They're doing a project in Meridian. Of course, Dallas and Atlanta have, you know, from the beginning of, I guess, the notion of data centers and digital infrastructure, have been two of the leading markets there. Similar with Birmingham. Birmingham has seen a lot of growth over the past few years, like growing into being a mid-market city, and a lot of what they're doing is around digital infrastructure with AI and the cloud and stuff like that. So just on I-20 from end to end, you're gonna see more activity. If you keep digging, you'll see a lot of activity happening in Arkansas, in Northwest Arkansas, and Little Rock. There's a big X facility in Memphis. Of course, Houston is gonna have some stuff going on. Long way of saying, you know, the port's logistical proximity and a lot of the benefits of the port, your ability to handle heavy equipment, just all of the various factors that have been in place for a while. When the Meta site got announced, all of those strategic advantages just got amplified, right? And as you're already seeing, everything is starting to come through. And right now, we're still at gravel. We hadn't even gotten to the actual construction where components started to come in. And the reason why I mentioned all the different projects happening is because once you have what's considered a cluster, where there's like a large number of similar type of businesses in the industry, like located in a geographic area, a lot of the, I guess, suppliers and vendors and auxiliary businesses that go along with these sites begin to look for places to locate. So kind of taking it back to where I came into all of this, you know, I've studied local economic development going back to college. That's what, you know, I studied in graduate school. But a short story about, I guess, my childhood here is when I was graduating high school, when I went to college, Tallulah was designated as an enterprise community. And when I moved to Atlanta, Atlanta was an empowerment zone. So when I got to graduate school, I did my long paper, master's thesis, whatever you want to call it, on that program. And in doing that, I had a lot of opportunities to speak with Thomas Joe Williams and Moses Williams about, you know, how Madison Parish got to the point to where we qualified for the program, what we did to be part of the program, kind of how it was going at the time. It was still in process. And that really shaped everything for me professionally going forward. Because at that point, I knew I wanted to be a lawyer, I knew I wanted to be a business person, but I wasn't exactly sure what that meant. But something that I did know is that I could see my town and the area around it not growing in the same way that some of the cities where I live. So I went to college in Atlanta during the time when it was booming. My brother's lived in Dallas since I was in junior high. He lives in Frisco. Frisco is, you know, globally considered to be like the gold standard for economic development. So just visually seeing this, like just year over year, you go to a place, there's new stuff here. You leave, you come back, there's more and more and more. So now this is an opportunity for us. Meta is the thing that kind of serves as a catalyst to kick things into gear. But similar to what I was saying, you'll see more of these projects in this area because of the open space. So a lot of, I guess, farmland, whether it's used or not, becomes attractive when you want to build a site as big as the city of Manhattan, you know? So as we go further into that, part of what I wanted to be able to do is just to, I don't know if assist is the right word, because I mean, obviously you all are doing a ton of work just to run the port, to continue to grow, but we're prospecting for, you know, a tenant for the lease facility, and particularly looking for a developer who can take on 500 acres. I mean, it's just like a really time-consuming process. You know, it's a lot of making calls that may not lead anywhere. It's a lot of sharing information with folks who you hope can lead you to the next person, to lead you to the next person, so that you can, you know, find the right contacts and have the conversations necessary to get a serious prospect. And I think that that's something that I'm particularly equipped for, not just because of like the personal reasons that I described, but also for professional reasons. You know, I have clients in the actual data center space that are looking to be data center providers, and I've spent probably the last 3 or 4 years working with those clients, just getting more familiar with the actual business around it. So I think that that gives me some advantage to be helpful. Also just understanding, you know, how to negotiate. So a big part of my practice is helping businesses and doing mergers and acquisitions and raising capital. All things that would be part of finding a developer as well as finding someone to do the lease. So, you know, this is just something short that I prepared just to, you know, provide some context around, you know, what I'm thinking about. Of course, you know, I'm happy to answer any questions anyone may have right now, but the biggest thing is I just wanted to, you know.
So what's the 500-acre parcel you're talking about?
So, and here's something else. All of this that I prepared is on spec, right? So it's based on what's listed in the port pamphlet on the website, right? And just like my research around what's available. So I've seen it labeled as 500. I've seen it labeled as like 300 and some odd amount, but
What's that in the spray?
That's Terrell's property. That's Terrell property. And I think the other one that you were talking about, the industrial facility, it's
Yeah.
leased. It's leased.
oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's Terrell's property. How often do you do the RFPs?
I'm sorry?
How often do you do the RFPs?
It's not something I haven't had to do a ton of. I mean, so drafting them is not something I necessarily had to do. Like helping clients to respond to them a few times a year. And that includes municipal.
Okay. As you stated, with the project coming that has came forth and all, everything that has happened in South Louisiana, we have a lot of RFP for, not so much as our area, but we have a lot of.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And even my thought around that, you know, again, right now, the one facility, it has been leased, but right now it's listed, right? The notion with the RFPs is just to be more proactive, to go out and not just be in a position where someone shows up and they say, hey, you know, we're interested in your site, and kind of get to giving you information. This way you get to be a little bit more aggressive and take the lead to like actually go out for people that you think fit the profile. And I think in some ways that can alleviate some of the problems that you have once someone arrives and they don't necessarily, I guess, treat the space with the proper amount of respect. But then that also speaks to some of what you're saying about taxing, right? At this point, all of the major sites are somewhere else. And while it does make sense for them to bring in supplies and equipment off of, there needs to be something in the parish that generates revenue that can be taxed. And also having some major supplier or someone just in the ecosystem actually on port property could be helpful in terms of, I guess, regulating how people operate on the port, right? So it's not just folks who come in, grab what they need, whether it be grab it now or, you know, the problems that you're gonna have once you start getting to like the major pieces of equipment, you know, that's a whole other issue, right? But that can be, it's an issue on one side, but on the other side, if you have, let's just say someone doing prefab or doing modules on port site, then now they hold responsibility from a fiduciary, contractual, insurance to make sure that the process works in a smooth way. You don't just have somebody come in and pick up, I don't know, 50 pipes or whatever the case may be, tying them down and getting up out of there. It's a much more involved process because you have someone on premise who has not just a responsibility, but that's our whole business model.
Have you looked into the parish on the ITEP,
I'm sorry?
on the industrial tax? Have you looked into that for the parish?
No, not yet. What I have looked at as far as, I guess, sources of capital is just becoming familiar with the programs that the state have available right now. But, you know, again, like I know at this point between the state and also what we're able to do locally, there are incentives in place that depending on who we're going after, it can be structured. But because I'm just kind of like filling a lot of this out, I mean, I spent most of my time just going deep, making sure I understood everything that was going on, kind of like a broad stroke. But one place in particular I would like to drill down is around financing. Because that's just something that, you know, I do.
So looking at your proposal and what's going on here, what are you exactly asking, what are you wanting us to do as a board, what do you want us to do?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, really, I would like to say that what I'm asking for is fairly simple because I'm not looking to be a broker, I'm not looking for a commission, I'm not looking to be on payroll or any of that. All I would like to have is just, on one level, the authority to go out and have conversations with perspectives. And also, in order to be able to do that, to have access to the information necessary to be able to communicate with them. So even something as simple as, you know, I didn't know that the lease, what I thought was available for lease has been leased just because, again, I didn't have information around it. I was just going off of what was available. But as far as what I'm asking for, and that's why I asked for authority to market, you know, so I like to go to a perspective and say, hey, I'm coming to you on behalf of the Madison Parish Port Commission. I want to share information with you about potentially, you know, developing this property. And here's a packet of information. If you'd like to have a conversation, I can get you started. And that way I can vet potentials. And if it's somebody who it seems like it makes sense, I can then share it with you all. And that way it gives you some, I guess, some buffer in between. And the reason why I think that that's necessary is because, again, as we get deeper and deeper into all of these projects going beyond just like laying foundation, you're gonna start to see more and more people just show up, and similar to what you said, right? Somebody's gonna ask for 60 for something that really costs, I guess they went down to 3, so niggas 1.5. But you know, whatever the case may be, is to get out in front of the conversation, but not to the point to where, you know, I wouldn't be doing final negotiations around it without authority. I wouldn't be, you know, taking them into details that you feel is confidential, that you don't necessarily want them to have access to until they've proven that, you know, they're worth taking the next step.
Being a port's a public, entity in general, talking to somebody over without the specifics, I would think anybody could do that. I'm on base, you know, wouldn't have to have a resolution or anything to allow you to talk on our behalf. I mean, about the port, anybody can talk about the port.
Yeah, well, so
You know, I don't know about, financial information or anything like that you wouldn't have authority to give, or, you know, or if they were telling them, I can get you this or that, but we have to talk to people. Do we have to vote on that as a resolution?
No, that's,
I wouldn't think so, for, I'm really not,
so
I agree with what you're proposing is a good thing. I mean, you gotta have somebody out there trying to bring in stuff to the parish. But being us have to actually vote, you said request for authority, for us to have to do that, I don't know that that's necessary.
That's fine. So my only question to that, and I agree, what do I mean by like authority? If it was a simple letter saying, hey, we approve Benny Walk to have conversations on our behalf, if you want to put conditions in there, but just something so that when I go to someone, I kind of work my way up to, you know, from somebody in the building to the actual site manager, or not site manager, but the site selector. I just like to be able to show them some official saying, hey, you know, I'm not, because you're correct. I could just go out and kind of middleman it, but my preference would be.
I follow what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think we'd have to get with the attorney and kind of see if there's anything out of our scope that we need to do.
So I have a question for you. So are you actually considering or asking us to consider for you to become a marketer for the board?
Yeah, but I'm not asking to get paid for it.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But now,
And I use marketing just as a term because broker means something very specific, and there are
Yes.
rules and regulations around being a broker. But yeah, so that's why I use the term to market.
well, what I'm interested in is, apparently, with your background and experience, you have some knowledge of some potential people who may be interested in investing. Am I right or wrong?
I haven't.
I mean,
I'm not saying I have somebody in my pocket right now,
No,
but yeah, I've identified sources where their interests are aligned with an opportunity like what the port has to offer.
Right. Well, you know, this is what, as industrial developers, and this is what we are charged to be trying to do. Yeah, we would want somebody who could make some contact or could bring some people together who would be coming and interested in coming to look at a site or purchase some land here, or maybe relocate close to the river or something of that nature. And, you know, because as you know, things economically depressed here still. We have industry and, you know, with the meta site and stuff, and it's going to be really some growth, you know, over the next so many years. But